chocolate strawberry PB Proteinsicles. Such an underrated recipe in the cookbook. I don't see anyone making these things. They are ridiculously good. I don't know what's wrong with people. Why aren't you making these things? They're so freaking good. And think of it, it's like eating a frozen Rolo dessert. 300 calories, 45 grams of protein. How can you go wrong?
Okay, for comparison's sake, what's a little not so great? I think it's definitely a recipe that you should. Welcome back to the Anabolic Hub, where we make anabolic deliciousness. We're back inside my kitchen today, and we're doing another recipe review. Today, we're taking a look at Coach Greg Doucette's Proteinsicles. You know that one, right? The one that looks like it's a bunch of ice cubes that are flavored with some anabolic deliciousness that he usually has in a big old huge bowl filled with lots of volume. That's the one. Yes, we're gonna be taking a look at that. So simple to put together. I've already read through the instructions in his cookbook. Oh my goodness. If it's this easy, why haven't more of us tried it? I asked myself that question. Haven't had these before. I don't know why. Simple recipe to make. It all goes in a blender, you blend it up, you freeze it. Doesn't get any easier than that. We love easy in the anabolic community, right? We're gonna be putting this one together super quick. Then it's gonna be instant for you, but we're gonna let it sit in the fridge for a few hours, and then it's over to the taste test table to see how these things taste. But first, let's get things started by having a look at the ingredients. Here we go. Any chocolate-based whey or casein protein powder. Peanut butter with cocoa. Plain non-fat Greek yogurt. Swerve. Granular, or any zero-calorie sweetener. Guar gum or xanthan gum. I'm using guar gum. Frozen strawberries. And water. This is an extra special, magical, anabolic deliciousness of a recipe. So simple to do. All we're gonna do is dump all the ingredients into our blender and then blend it up. Doesn't get any easier than that. Let's do it. And that's it. Now it's back over to the base and we're gonna blend it up. We're back at the base. There's no time listed for how long you blend it, but I think it's gonna be pretty obvious when we're done. We'll probably blend it once or twice, scrape it down a couple times, and then we just gotta put them in our trays. Okay, bye. Blend number 2. Okay, bye. So I performed a little bit of an experiment here as well. I've already actually made a batch of this. Haven't tasted it yet. They're actually in the freezer right now, freezing up. But first go around, I used pure whey protein. That's it. No casein, just whey. As you can see here, I'm pouring them into the trays. Very, very liquidy. Probably what you would expect from like a whey protein shake type of consistency. On this round, I used casein protein powder, and using casein, you can see it's a lot thicker than last time. I could probably do the Greg Doucette over the head test with this. It is definitely more thick with 3 C's, more pudding-like. I could see eating this as is. I'm gonna freeze this up as well, and we'll see how they compare frozen. But right now I can tell you, definitely a lot thicker, as you can see from when I poured in the whey version compared to the casein. So we're gonna wait for that first batch to finish freezing up, and then it's over to the taste test table. Okay, so I pulled our 2 different versions of the Proteinsicles out of the freezer. We have our casein version here in the tray and our whey version here in our little popsicle container things. So what I'm gonna do is cut them up. I'm gonna put them in the bowls. Now I try to use this like you're supposed to. It should pull right out and you should get a popsicle, but I don't know if it's just this particular recipe just doesn't have enough to stick, or maybe you need to freeze it for a little bit longer, but that seems pretty frozen. So we're not gonna be able to eat it like a popsicle, unfortunately, but I'm still gonna be able to cut it out of here, and we'll chop it up and we'll try it over at the taste test table. So before this all melts, let's get it cut up and I'll see you over there. We're back at the taste test table again to try these Proteinsicles. I have a whey version here and a casein version here. I can tell you that because the casein version is thicker, it seems to have frozen up a little bit better than the whey protein version. They were in for about 2.5 hours, so maybe they need a little bit more time if you're using whey. You might want to leave them in maybe 3 to 4 hours, maybe even a little bit longer. Nonetheless, they are frozen and they are solid enough, I think, to go for our taste test, which we're going to do right now. With no further ado, let's pick up our spoon and we'll try the whey version first here because it is getting a little soupy in there. So starting first with our whey version, here we go.
Chocolatey peanut butteriness and very sweet. Very sweet. Let's try another one. Wow, this is really, really good. It's like a mix between a frozen treat and a protein shake, but better and sweeter. Oh yeah, it's very satisfying. All the flavors, the peanut butter and the chocolate, obviously we know it's a great combination. Thank you, Reese's peanut butter cup, not Reese's. Reese's peanut butter cup flavoring, very similar to that. Very good, like a little frozen treat. Okay, for comparison's sake, let's try the casein version here. Grab one of these. Now, this was more pudding-like when I put it on the tray to be frozen, so it was already a little more solid. Let's see how it tastes after being in the freezer for a couple hours. I know this is going to shock a lot of people, but I like the casein version a little bit better, I think. It could be the flavor, and they're both gold standard protein powders, but definitely a little more chocolatiness in the casein version for sure. And as you can imagine, because it's casein instead of whey, it's a little bit more dense. You can tell each bite, even though I cut them up equally, it's a little bit heavier. Oh yeah. You know, the whole batch that I made, one batch at a time, is about 1,200 calories, and I think Greg splits it up into about 300 calorie serving sizes. So you're looking at 4 different serving sizes if you make the whole thing. I think so. Is that the right math? Somebody correct me in the comment section if it was wrong. I wasn't a math major, but I think it's 4 servings. 4 times 3, 12, 1,200. Yep. Okay, good. Sounds right. Anyway, back to this. I'm gonna try the whey version again here. I do kind of wish I left it in the freezer a little bit longer. It is melting a little faster than I thought it would. I bet if you leave it in overnight, you make them well in advance, I bet they come out frozen solid. This is a little melty, but still delicious. Okay, so I'm gonna break back in here at the taste test table. It is the day after I did the original taste test, but definitely did not let the Proteinsicles freeze for long enough. I had them in there for about 2.5 hours. I let these sit overnight. Same batch I made yesterday, I just didn't take them out, and oh my God, guys, it's even more incredible than yesterday. So definitely wait on these, make them well in advance, 4 or 5 hours, maybe even longer. I have them here, I've already tried one. They're obviously a lot more solid. They taste even better when they are chilled ice freaking cold. They're very edible too. I was worried maybe they're gonna be like chewing on an ice cube. Not even close. They are so good. So freaking good. If you haven't tried these yet, you really have to. It is definitely probably Greg's most underrated recipe in the entire cookbook. No doubt. God, I could eat this whole bowl full. That's just about a serving right here. My goodness, so good. You guys gotta try it. Gotta let me know how it comes out for you. This recipe, oh, on the money. So good. Make them. You won't be disappointed. All right, see you later. There's only so much protein ice cream you can have. Something like Proteinsicles is a little different too because you can actually meal prep it. I know some people, when they try to meal prep anabolic ice cream, it gets a little not so great. Just because of the fluffiness nature of it, you get a little layer of thin ice on top, and it just doesn't keep well in the freezer. You know, maybe you meal prep this for the week. You could do 3 batches at once, and you could have Proteinsicles for the entire week, maybe longer if you divide it up into 4 servings each. Great snack to have on hand. Extra chocolate punch by using that PB2 with the cocoa. Definitely gives a little bit more chocolate flavor than you would normally see in a regular chocolate flavor, just protein powder. Try the casein again. I kind of like going back and forth. I would recommend you try both, but if you only have whey protein, I think you'll be just as happy making these with that. Yeah, you see my previous videos, I'm pretty biased. I prefer to use casein, although usually that's for baking, but here, just denser, a little more chocolatey flavor in my opinion. And for actually, the same amount of calories, I'd go with the denser version to make you feel a little bit fuller, I would say, if you're having a whole version of it. Absolutely delicious. Definitely see why every time Greg has this, he's always not understanding why people don't make this, why it's not more talked about. I think it's definitely a recipe that you should give a try. If you have the cookbook, it's a no-brainer. Gotta do it. So much protein in this. Way better than just having a protein shake after a workout. You pull these out after a hot summer day workout, get all the protein you need in one sitting. Gonna feel full, satisfied after. No-brainer of a snack. Absolute no-brainer. Very simple ingredients. Very simple method to make. Mix it all in a blender. I would highly recommend though that you do get the ice cube trays. I don't have them. Normally I would have gotten them for this type of recipe. I really had higher hopes for those popsicle stick things. That they were going to work much better and I'd be able to pull it out and have it like a popsicle. Didn't work out that way, but highly recommend you get the ice cube trays. Can see it being way easier. Then you can just stack them up nice and easy to store. You'll have a ton ready to go. Be very careful if you just make the casein version. Very easy to just sit down and have it as a pudding, but because it's not cold, you could probably eat a lot of it in a sitting. I could see eating half of it at least, because it did taste good. I tried a little bit on the spoon before I put it into the tray, and yeah, it tastes good on its own, but it might be a little dangerous. I think when it's cold, a little harder to eat like this. You can't eat it as fast, basically, when you have it frozen, so be careful if you're trying the batter before it freezes. Yeah, I could see having a massive bowl. I probably have here, if you combine these two servings, I probably have about half of an actual serving, maybe 2/3 of an actual serving, but you get them in the ice cube tray, it's gonna feel like you're eating a lot more. Here, I just cut these up into little squares, almost like mini score bars, if you will, but definitely go with the ice cube trays, no brainer. Way easier to meal prep. Then you can just pull out a tray, break off the ones that you need, you're good to go. If you've tried the Proteinsicles, or if you end up trying them after seeing this video, please let me know in the comment section below. I'd love to know what you think of these. They taste good. If you tried the other versions of the Proteinsicles in the cookbook, let's talk about Proteinsicles in the comment section, but it's getting to be about that time. I gotta get up out of here, so I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.
Guys, I almost forgot. Buy this frickin' cookbook, would you?